really, really lucky. Don't say that on camera. Because nazar. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Paroma Sharma and this is my little rectangle where I share a little bit of my life with you. And today I'm back with a video. And I feel like it's been so long since I've put out some current filmed content, So I'm excited. I did publish a video a couple of weeks ago and it was the Duval giveaway video and that went live. But that video was filmed back in the summer. So it just feels so good to be here now, show you guys what I look like today. But we'll dive further into where I've been, what I've been doing. So as you can tell by the title of today's video, this is kind of like a vlog, also like an update. Okay, so let's dive into it and really quickly talk about this. Pandemic fatigue and burnout is such a real thing, it's insane. One of the reasons that I haven't been posting is because of pandemic fatigue and burnout, I guess. Now it has a name. So you Google it, there's stuff about it now. It's just been a couple of months of, I'm not gonna say that I was uninspired. In some ways I was a little bit uninspired for the last couple of months, but in terms of creating and posting content. Not that I was uninspired in life in general. I actually did quite a lot of traveling and road trips this summer. Granted, all the restrictions, but I took road trips and day trips and explored basically our backyard, which was very nice. And I think I found inspiration from all that stuff and I'm here now, and I hope to be posting more often. All things considered though, the second wave is here and it seems so daunting, but I just want to look at the light at the end of the tunnel. But here's basically what it is. I just hope that at the end of this, just as people, as the world in its entirety, I hope we come out of this having learned some lessons and implementing some changes. I think, yes, to some extent the world's going to go back to normal, and then in other ways it's probably not. Maybe for the better in some ways, I definitely hope the world learns from this that we need to choose and elect better leaders. We've learned to vote and elect our representatives very wisely. So that's something I hope everyone's learned going on the other side. I think on the flip side, there might be more value given to a work-life balance. Just because people see that working from home and having flexible hours is not necessarily affecting people's performances. I mean, granted, given which industry you're in, but I think a lot of companies and people are realizing that people can work from home, that you don't really have to be in a cubicle 9 to 5. And so I think having that as an option going forward is definitely a wonderful change. And I think just overall, people, even through the pandemic, I've noticed people, public, just neighbors, just fellow members of society have just overall become kinder, nicer, which I think is coming from a place of gratitude that we're all here and grateful for the little things that we have. So I think that overall contentment and kindness is coming from gratitude, and I really hope that that remains on the flip side. Everyone has just overall become a little more health conscious in this time. I think myself included, everyone tends to take their health for granted. I think this year was a big wake-up call and everyone was like, we really just need to be healthy. I hope that that's something that stays, something that doesn't change. I hope we never take our loved ones for granted again. We continue to give the attention and time required to nurture these kinds of relationships. I think that's something that I've definitely learned in the pandemic, that you really need to slow down, take a second. Jobs will always be there, money you'll find a way to make, but to not take your loved ones for granted and spend time with them and realize that it really boils down to family and loved ones at the end of the day. I hope that that is a value that we're going to be taking forward into the new life or the new world. And last but not least, a part of this rant before we move on to the vlog portion of this video, I hope that coming out of this pandemic, we can redefine what success and failure means. I think in this fast-paced life, very sterile, very corporate, this, capitalism-ridden life that we've created, I feel like success and failure has become so mapped out for people, and I feel like everyone feels like they need to be successful in this specific way or in that specific way. That's something that's also very culturally specific for us South Asians. The saying goes that every Indian parent or every South Asian parent, Bangladeshi parent, wants their kid to be a doctor, a lawyer, or an engineer. That is changing, and I hope that changes through this pandemic. I think people have realized that success and failure doesn't have to be mapped out by society for you. So I hope coming out from this pandemic, success and failure is redefined to be more an individualistic experience and journey rather than kind of that herd mentality. The fact of the matter is that there's nothing wrong with that. It's just, it doesn't have to be for everyone. And I think parents and children alike are realizing through the pandemic that being passionate and happy about what you're doing in life and your source of income is quite important, and that job satisfaction is quite important. These are definitely, I'd say, the top list of things that I look at it like the glass is half full. So yeah, that is my COVID rant, or at least a part of it, But let's get the day started. Well, it's evening right now, but let's get the vlog portion started. I've got a little bit of work to do. I'm gonna go out and ship something. And so I thought maybe today's format, I could update you guys on my life and what's been happening and all the ongoings as I carry you through the rest of the day. So let's go get this evening started. So we'll go downstairs because I've actually got to do a little bit of work, and I'll show you what that work is and updates on life. But I want to show you the setup that I had while I was just filming, and I want to show you where my cat is. Look at this boy. Hi, honey. And he was just chilling under Mama's butt while I filmed. So I've moved downstairs to the dining room, and I realized that I didn't tell you guys, well, unless you follow me on Instagram, you wouldn't know that I actually have started social media management. Currently, I've launched a Fiverr page. I'll actually link it below. So I've got a Fiverr gig, and it's for like 30 days. So like for a whole month, I manage your Instagram account. I guess like this year overall through COVID, I've kind of really focused and narrowed down my focus on social media. In doing so, I've actually learned so much, and I've been able to teach myself a lot of stuff. And then I figured I wanted to take my expertise, so to say, to the next level. And so I actually started applying to jobs that were very, social media manager, social media coordinator. I, got a couple of calls. I had a few interviews. I also actually got a job offer, which was crazy because I was like, I'm trying to move from, like a different industry. Like I've not that I haven't been in the social media industry. I've been in the social media industry for like 8 years now. But I was also in the legal industry. That was my main industry. So now I really want to like shift my focus over to social media 100%, just because I feel like it comes easy to me. I feel like I'm a lot more fulfilled with it. And so I really want to focus on that. And so this year I decided to apply to those jobs. And when I got that job offer, I was like, wow, like I can do this. I'm going to do this. Now, for reasons being, it didn't pan out and I didn't end up taking that job. I almost took it, and then I called back the next day and I said, I'm sorry, I can't. I know that I'm going to have to compromise on my salary expectations a little bit, especially if I'm like, switching industries.
but not to that extent. I knew what I brought to the table, and I really didn't want to compromise that. And I know it just sounds like such a privileged thing to say, like especially during COVID, like finding a job, and that too kind of a dream job, like, or a dream, field at least. To turn it down was very bittersweet for me, but I knew that I had to. I knew that there was going to be something else in store for me, and it just, like, I couldn't add up the numbers and have it make sense. So for those reasons, I turned that down. That was in September, so literally like last month. And since then, I was just like, you know what? I can't be sitting on my bum and doing nothing about the social media management. So alongside applying to those kinds of positions, I also need to actively be working, on my social media management experience. And so I decided to launch my social media management gig on Fiverr. That's basically what I'm doing right now. I'm just doubling down on social media. This is the Duval Radiant Skincare System. So I'm actually going to be heading out in a bit. Actually, I should check how long the post office is open. But I need to go mail that out because that was from a giveaway, and I've chosen a winner, and I announced it on my Instagram. So I'm going to be going ahead and shipping this out to her today. So yeah, I've really just been doubling down and trying to keep the ball rolling in my social media management. And so I'm having a blast. I'm creating content daily for industries that are completely different. I'm having a lot of fun doing it. And I want to give you guys that update and I guess share that with you a little bit. So that's what's happening. So a lot of my evenings are, filled with this kind of stuff, creating content, for a long time creating the gig was something that was important, so it took me a while to even get all the slides and the ad and the details all hashed out and all the templates ready and the procedure set out. And I had to learn the softwares. I mean, it's not really that hard, but I had to research, download, and learn the social media management software. So it's basically a content planner. Content writing and content creation and social media management is like, I could do it in my sleep, and I really enjoy it. So that's what I'm doing. You're, looking at an aspiring social media manager and of course a budding YouTuber, but I mean, let's really quickly show you guys this is the kind of content I'm creating. I'm just gonna go ship this out and BRB. Alright guys, I made it to the post office with 20 minutes to spare. So I just shipped that out. I don't know why that gave me so much anxiety. I feel like I haven't mailed something out in a very long time and I forgot how to do it, if that even makes sense. I also need to grab shampoo for my hair. So we'll grab some goodies. Okay, so the evening's endeavors have been successful. I ran out of my shampoo. I like to go between Tresemme and Herbal Essences, so I switch between the two brands. So every time a bottle finishes, like a bottle of shampoo and conditioner finishes, I kind of assess where my hair is at, and if I feel like my hair has kind of hit a plateau, so to say, like a shampoo plateau where it's just falling flat and it's just maybe gotten used to the formula of that specific shampoo, I then like go and switch it. So let's say, like, for example, right now I had a bottle of Tresemme shampoo and a bottle of Tresemme conditioner, and they're on their way to being done. So I've repurchased Tresemme a couple of times in the last little while, but basically I felt like my hair needed a different formula again. So I switched back to Herbal Essences. Now here's the thing, not that I need volume, like I have a lot of volume in my hair, but part of the reason that I do have a lot of body to my hair is because I use volume shampoos and products. So whenever I get Tresemme, I get the 24-hour body or 24-hour volume, and then whenever I get Herbal Essences, I get the volume and body boosting one. But I guess I just haven't purchased an Herbal Essences volume shampoo for quite a while because the bottles look completely different than what I remember them to look like, number one. Number two, they changed up the scent on me. I do not like citrusy smelling things in my hair. So we'll see how my hair does. So this is the one I picked up now. I have enough volume in my hair naturally, but the reason I use volume and body boosting products is because I have really long hair and I have a lot of it, so it tends to weigh down a lot. And when under the weight of itself, basically, it tends to like fall flat and dull sometimes. Hence why I use like body and volume boosting products. I picked up 2 foot-long subs for the hubs and I. So that'll be nice. I want to talk to you guys briefly about like mental health, where I've been kind of answering a couple of questions that I got like on Instagram throughout the summer. We are going to down these subs and then I'll talk to you guys on the flip side of dinner.
It's worth noting that it is the next morning because I just got caught up with my evening and didn't end up finishing my point, and I actually didn't answer too many like life update questions. Throughout the summer, I've gotten some questions from subscribers and followers about like, hey Promo, why aren't you making another video? Or like, when is your next video coming? How come you're not dancing anymore? Oh my god, I swear to god, if another freaking wasp comes at me. Oh my god. So long story short, this year of the pandemic has obviously been crazy. Essentially, we're fine, but then we're also not. Mix that in with anxiety, which is something that I deal with. And I think I deal with it very privately, and I'm starting to talk about it a little bit more now. I'm actually doing really well now, hence why I've been able to film again. Sorry, those are my wind chimes. That is also why sometimes I just can't get myself to create content. Sorry about all the noise and the dee out here. We have construction going on. Let's take like these YouTubers, like the big ones, you know, like Safia Nygaard, and like yesterday I was watching Jeffree Star and I was watching Dina Tokyo. I just love watching them, and all of them have lately said something or communicated something in common, whether that's verbally or putting up a post on YouTube or like, you know, like just discussing it in the video itself. But everyone was saying that they were in a bit of a rut and they were just uninspired to create content. And I was like, that's exactly how I felt. Especially creative people, I think. Creative people draw a lot of inspiration from the world, at least I do, from going out, meeting new people, sharing new stories, seeing new things. And I mean, just because of the pandemic, not a lot of that has been happening. And I just really resonated with these YouTubers talking about how they're sorry they haven't been making content, and it's because they've been feeling down and overwhelmed. All of these YouTubers who I pretty much religiously follow and watch have expressed a burnout. And that's actually what happened to me as well. And when I so consistently, when these YouTubers are talking about it, Dina Tokyo, Safia Nygaard, Jeffree Star, when they're talking about it, I'm like, oh my god, like, here I was thinking my YouTube didn't even kick off and I couldn't be consistent with it. And then, oh my god, all the other big YouTubers, they didn't build their channels by being overwhelmed and burnt out and all that stuff. But it's the year of the pandemic and things are going to be different. When I heard these YouTubers talk about it, I quite literally had like an aha moment, and I was like, oh, same. Everyone's not okay. And that's the reality of this year. So that, in combination with the anxiety, is why I have been a little MIA. I'm wrong when I say that. It's just that my posting hasn't been as regular as I would have liked it to be. There were still videos, there were still vlogs. I'm not giving myself as much credit as I should be giving. So yeah, that's a little bit to answer, you know, some questions I've gotten here and there about where are you, why are you not posting as much as you used to. I'm wearing like sandals
My toes are getting really cold, and it's also really loud out here, and I haven't been attacked by a bee for the last little while, so thank God I actually got through this entire part. Let's rewind back to yesterday now. I'm gonna go inside.
Okay, you guys, I actually miss touching people. I know that's horrifying. Like, I know you're probably like, what? I communicate a lot through touch. I show sympathy, empathy, understanding, sometimes even respect through touch. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't invade people's personal spaces. I tend to, like, for instance, if an elderly woman came up to me to ask me something or ask me for help reaching something off the shelf in a grocery store, you know, in an aisle, pre-pandemic, I would touch them. If I felt the situation was okay, I would get close to them, I'd lean in, I'd bow a little bit if they're shorter than me. Those kinds of things in my body language are actually my way of being nurturing and sometimes even respectful. I've noticed that I naturally bow a bit in front of elders, regardless of who they are, you know, whose parents they are or whose grandparents they are, if I'm meeting them for the first time or speaking to them for the first time. So, you know, like that kind of thing, like coming close to someone that's trying to interact with you, have a positive interaction with a stranger, you know, lean in a bit, maybe put my hand on their lower back to guide them in the direction or whatever it may be. Touching people. I miss touching people. And then of course there's the regulars, like going into public and breathing without a mask, or like celebrating big events. I can't lie and say I'm not looking forward to doing all of that again, because I mean, honestly, like our first anniversary, like we didn't have a party this year, and there are lots of milestones. My brother-in-law, his daughter, it was her first birthday this year, and they couldn't celebrate it because COVID, right? And I know that in the grander spectrum of things, like, you know, you can celebrate these birthdays and milestones later, but first birthdays don't come again, you know, first anniversaries don't come again. So I can't wait to get back to celebrating milestones. And of course, traveling. Like, traveling is such a big one. I know it's cliche, but come on, guys. I just can't wait to go back to traveling. And one of the most important ones to me, I miss performing. I miss being on stage. I miss going to rehearsals. I miss performing. I miss having dance practices. I miss being in front of an audience. I mean, where am I going to find an audience right now? You know, like yeah, I can always like make a video and post it, but a live audience just gives you life, you know, and I miss all of that. So I can't wait to get back to all that fun stuff post-pandemic. Anyways, if you liked this video, then give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I will see you in the next one.